discs inside your preparation. But if you're somebody that likes your garlic mashed in, what I usually do is take my knife and hold it right over the edge of the table, and I'll put the garlic down and just mash it. So this way you're not going to get the corner of the knife caught on the cutting board. You're kind of just hanging off a little bit. I hold the garlic down, just get nice and firm on top, and just press it. That way you get a nice mash out of it. So either way, I'm going to do a little bit of both. I could do some nice round slices in there, and I'll finish mincing this. Now with this preparation, you don't want to over brown your garlic. You just want it to be a little bit brown, caramelized. Caramelizing means bringing out the caramel and the sweetness of the garlic. If you don't bring it out, the garlic tends to be a little bit bitter. I'm going to use olive oil on this. To be honest with you, olive oil is what I had here in the store, and that's what we're using today. But honestly, I usually use a blended oil in the 6 food towns that we have kitchens in. I generally use a 10 to 20% mix of olive oil and blended oil.
Is that a bigger melting point?
Well, actually, olive oil has a lower flash point. So what'll happen is it'll burn a little bit faster. So by adding a sunflower oil, by adding a canola oil, you're usually going to get a little bit more time on it before it will start to burn. And even though you hear people like Rachel Ray talking about the wonders of olive oil, honestly, it is a little bit too much a lot of times for most of your preparations. I really prefer olive oil in fresh preparations over cooked preparations. So I'm just opening that tomatoes. Again, I have a blend of, I have a crushed Jersey fresh tomato, and I also have a whole plum tomato that we're going to pour in. Garlic is just starting to brown. I have it on a low flame, so I want it to come up slowly. And today with this soup, I'm not going to make it real spicy so that everybody can enjoy a little bit. I'm going to add clams and mussels and a little bit of shrimp to it. So in order to caramelize this, I'm going to have to bring the temperature up just a little bit. There we go. And I always prefer fresh seafood, obviously. Fresh mussels. Some people are buying frozen now because it's just convenient, but the clams and mussels that we have over in our store are really ideal. Obviously, they're local, and I put them in whole shell.
What store are you from, James?
I happen to be from the Ocean Food Town, right across the street on Deal Road.
That's Food Circus Food Town?
Food Circus Food Town. And we have a lot going on in all of our stores. Up and down the coast, Port Monmouth, Atlantic Islands, Tom's River, Bayville. So we have catering in all these stores. And we're fortunate to have Rob Collins with us today.
Hello.
Our catering coordinator.
Hi, Rob.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. I work for all 9 stores.
Okay.
As well.
Now,
My home store is right here in Ocean on 35.
Very good.
With James closely. Next time you have a party, look me up.
Absolutely,
Look me up.
James. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Distribute the heat a little bit. That way I'm going to slow down that caramelizing process, and I still have all the whole seafood in there. But like I said, you always want to look through, especially mussels. You're always going to find mussels that are open. Those are no good. You don't want to keep them. If you tap them, they don't close. That means you don't want them. And actually, I see one in there that I missed, so I'm going to get rid of that. That's going to give you, impart a bad flavor in there. And any of the ones that have little beards on them from where they were raised, you want to get rid of the beards too. Those 2 are done. Let's see, got a couple nice big ones in here. I tap them sometimes too, especially clams. I'll tap clams together, and that way you can tell if they're hollow, if they've past their ideal date. Those 2 sound like they're a little hollow. Gone. I think that's the end. So now I have almost all my pyramid rolls.
What you have to do is take the napkin diagonally, fold it half diagonally, and then bring the 2 corners to the middle point, and then you fold it here, flip on top. So you flip it over, fold that over, and then bring that in half again. And then freestanding table mat, which is on there. Sometimes it helps to see it visually than when it's drawn like that. This is called Lady Windermere's fan. That folds, fold the napkin in half rectangularly. Now, what I like to do is just fold it up about an inch, and then do a second fold, because that's where the napkin's going to rest. And that'll give it some more stability. After you do the second fold, just pleat it back and forth like an accordion. And you go all the way up, but you want to leave the tail.
Right alongside
Some, because that's what you're going to make your foot out of for it to rest on. You fold the napkin with the tail on the inside,
do it just so I cover a
and then
little
you
bit
take
more,
the diagonal corner,
a little bit more than the
tuck it
sequence.
in.
You're fine.
That gives you your foot for it to rest on.
Really
And
great
then you just
flavor.
let it fall, and you've got a very nice fold. This fold is very easy if you want to
Fresh basil.
cut it right into the glass.
And I'm also going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. Most people don't realize that you actually do need to salt and pepper seafood. They think that it comes from the sea, the ocean, and it's salty, but it's not. So I always recommend adding just a little bit of sea salt, and that's what I have today. A little bit of sea salt with me. I'm going to put those right up front. We're going to wait a couple minutes to put those in. I'm going to put some of my fresh basil in. I got some beautiful fresh basil from our store. This is not like the hydroponic basil. This is the fresh stuff that we're selling right in our produce aisle. All this is rinsed, but I like to give it one last rinse before I put it in. I have fresh water bath over here, and just nice big strips. I also usually add a little fresh basil right at the end, too, right before I serve it.
Where did you go to school then?
I went to Johnson, Wales.
James, this is my dad, Larry.
Hi, Larry. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Now I brought white pepper today. On this preparation, it doesn't really matter. You can use white or black pepper. Some people claim white pepper is a little bit hotter. I don't know, that's kind of arguable. But the reason I use white pepper for some of the preparations is so it doesn't show up. So two of the sauces that I'm going to make today are franchise and marsala. And with the franchise, it's a very light sauce. So if I have a dark pepper, specks of black pepper, it almost looks like dirt in there. And it's something that will turn off a lot of people. So that's why I have white pepper with me today. The salt is a nice coarse sea salt. Sea salt imparts a real special flavor to it. It's a little bit sharper, salty flavor, but it's not flat, it's live. And that's why I always recommend sea salt in almost everything that I do. The coarser, the better for roast. And this is a little bit of dry basil, which I add because fresh basil, believe it or not, doesn't have as much potency, obviously, as dry basil. So if I really want that basil flavor in there, I'm going to add just a little bit of the dried as well, and it'll really kick it up. Now that I have everything in there, if I was at my house, I know that my wife would demand some hot pepper seed, which really makes it a fra diavolo. But we're not going to put red pepper in today. We're going to leave it nice and mild. I'm also going to get a cover. Let's see if I can get a half pan. Could you ask Robin for a half pan? I'll cover it with a half pan.
Sam to the front, Sam.
We're going to give it a little bit of cover. It takes a couple minutes to steam open, and that way, once all the shells are open, it's going to get that flavor of the nice red sauce in there, the crushed tomatoes,